Safety Center's Jay Bach.
It takes a little while to get acclimated to us again on the roadway because we've been going through the winter and it's not an issue. We're smaller, we're lighter. It's hard to gauge our speed as much, so we put all those factors into play. And a month from now, it'll all be good. We'll be back to a comfortable situation. But to start with, don't forget about us.
Let's not forget about the safety factor.
That includes the proper gear and a helmet. It's not just protection on the roadways. It's also protection from the elements.
Be prepared, don't be distracted, and have fun. Ari Bergeron, News Talk 830 WCCO.
And Minnesota State Parks will waive their entrance fees tomorrow. DNR spokesperson Lauren Peck says admission will be free right in the middle of the best time of year for springtime wildflower viewing.
Spring ephemeral wildflowers is a big draw for people to come to parks in general in the spring. So I suspect Nurse Strand, Big Woods, down a little bit south of the metro might be pretty popular.
Camping fees do still apply this weekend. WCCO News Time is 3:06.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
As you get ready to make that afternoon drive, 94 to 35W, you still have that road closure there. Follow the detour. That should get you around that problem. 55 to Lowry Tunnel, you have an eastbound left lane closed. Bridge construction still underway there. That'll resolve in July. Kellogg Boulevard West and West Goodrich Avenue, you have a westbound lane, the right westbound lane closed. Utility work through the early part of May. I'm Jim Hughes on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Hungry? Go to Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan for real Texas barbecue. All meats smoked fresh in-house daily. You can dine in, take out, have it delivered, or have your event catered anywhere in the metro. Just go to Dickeys.com. Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan, the Twin Cities catering leader.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan, the Twin Cities catering leader. Find them at Dickeys.com. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
A beautiful night tonight. The clouds will increase overnight as we fall back to 45. The wind will back off as well. Tomorrow looks pretty nice. Mostly cloudy, a high of 62. There will be a few isolated showers possible later in the day. Sunday looks dry and warmer with a high in the upper 60s. Now, the wind is going to pick up. The rain will hold off till overnight. And Monday at this point looks like an all-day soaker. And we do stay cool with highs below average next week.
Sunny right now, 59 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Big topics, bigger opinions, all on the biggest platform. News Talk 830 WCCO. You're thinking about it. Jason's talking about it. There are no breaks on bold takes here. Buckle up. This is Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington. Now, live from Minnesota's biggest microphone, here's Jason DeRusha.
Happy Friday. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRusha. It's Jason. Do you think we're kind? Not me and Dan. Of course you think we're kind. Do you think Americans are kind? 651-461-9226. I have always maintained, even though I think that people are ruder than ever, well, let me say this differently. Rude people are ruder than ever. Most people are kind, caring, and giving. You tell me if I'm right or wrong. 651-461-9226. A clear majority of Americans told Gallup poll that they see kindness prevailing. Now, there are differences in who's kinder than others. And I'm not surprised to see that younger adults are more nervous to initiate kind acts toward strangers than older adults. And this is because younger adults are more nervous about everything. I'm not sure what screwed up you youngsters. Is it us? Probably. It's the Gen X. Is it your Gen X? Oh my gosh. Did we screw up these kids? Are all these kids so awkward and weird because of us? I don't think so. I do think kindness does prevail, and I do think that even in our sort of politically polarized world, I don't know, man. I think given the opportunity, most people choose to do something good. Maybe it would help if you guys shared the last act of kindness that either you saw or you took part in or you were a receiver of at 651-461-9226. I'll give you an example in my life. Last night at my apartment building, I hosted a happy hour. And so it was part of like the residential, like the resident appreciation week. And so the people who run the apartment are like, well, you're famous. And some of our residents, I was just seeing if Cook was paying attention there, if he was going to laugh or not. So they asked me to host this happy hour because it's whatever. It was great. So I posted online that I was doing this, and just like if you were interested in this apartment building, you come check it out. And I get an Instagram message from one of my followers who says, hey, do you need any beer for this happy hour you're posting? And this was Tony Moline, who used to be the general manager of the Bulldog in Lower Town. And now he works for Surly. And he's like, my employer would donate some beer for it. And so Tony comes over to my apartment building 2 days ago and brings me, I don't know, 4 cases of beer. It's so nice. Right? And certainly, like, I didn't know that we were going to talk about this today. This is no sort of quid pro quo. He wasn't trying to get anything. He was like, hey, that sounds fun. Like, you're doing something nice in downtown St. Paul. He lives in downtown St. Paul. He was like, I'll just come drop it off. That's nice. Like, that is a relatively random act of kindness, I would say. 651-461-9226. Most Americans are way kinder than you and your flunky.
How dare you?
I mean, are you offended at being called?
I already
my
texted
flunky?
back that it should have been Mr. Flunky. Thank you very much.
I kind of like thinking of you as my flunky.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
I kind of like free car washing, so it all works out.
Is that my random act of kindness? For how many years have I been paying for your car washes?
More than I expected, so thank you.
I mean, the bill just shows up, and Alyssa stopped asking about it, so I just keep paying it.
Kind of so did I. I figured I asked like 2 or 3 times. That's the kind thing to do.
Right.
I asked to take it over, and you said no, and so I said okay.
You know what would be kind is if we could
have some medication for that.
If you're watching on the live stream, this has been driving me nuts.
I swear I'm going to make that into a short later today. So I'm going to go back to doing it just to do that.
Just for that. So we have this microphone is on like a big boom. Like, and why? Why do we need this on this big spring?
Well, you got to get it over the monitor.
What is the right way to have this? So I've got, if you watch the podcast, this thing. So the spring in this is a little aggressive. Boop. So when you take the microphone and pull it a little bit away from my mouth, it immediately springs back and hits me in the face. Now, I don't know what the best way to be on this microphone. I think these microphones in this studio sort of want, like, how does this sound on your AM radios right now, everybody?
Let me tell you something. They want you to be as close as humanly possible to them.
And for video purposes, I think this looks ridiculous.
Because you can't, you can't see your mouth.
You can't see it. So today I thought...
Texture wants to know if that's why the big voice guy says it's the biggest microphone.
It is. The biggest microphone. Now from... Yes. So every time I pull it away, it comes back and hits me in the face. I mean, I don't know that people, if I take the thing...
Oh, don't do that.
Boop.
Now it's going to hurt you.
Yeah. So I thought I'd try to have this lower. So it was more.
How's that working out for you?
This is terrible radio because people don't really understand what's going on.
But it's great for driving people to the YouTube because people are driving right now and going to say, I got to go home and see DeRusha getting bapped in the face by a microphone.
Why can't I just have like a mic stand, like a regular, like these guys on Fox News with the mic stand on the table and it just... Why does it need to be on this overhead? Like, this isn't a Hollywood film where we need, like, the boom. I just think it's weird. All right. I'm sorry. I got a little distracted from the kindness. And this sort of undercuts the kindness question because you're just all too happy to laugh and laugh away at me getting hit in the face by a microphone.
I don't think that's unkind.
Texter says, Dan Cook, much kinder than DeRusha. That's probably...
Is that the same texter that called me flunky, though?
I don't get into the details.
Sure. Of course you don't.
I think you're probably... Well, you're kinder than me in certain areas. Would you say, generally speaking, you're kinder than me?
And this is going to sound like I'm dodging the question, but honestly, that's not how I think about it. I don't think about my kindness relative to anybody else's. I think you're a kind person. I try to be as kind as I can. I'm somewhat impatient. I have troubles. Chad doesn't have a problem with the microphone. Microphone doesn't hit Chad in the face.
Look, I forgot my water bottle.
He forgot his water bottle.
Yeah.
This.
What are you talking about?
We're talking about kindness, although we spent 6 minutes talking about this microphone hitting me in my face. The microphone here, they're awful. They're awful.
We need the building to basically burn down.
Have you...
with no humans in it.
At any point, have you considered starting a small fire and just seeing what happens?
I would like the microphones that we could just wear on our heads, kind of like
a sports...
NFL head coaches and coordinators, and you could walk around the room.
I would like that. Dan,
you have to hold something up to your face, make sure that they can't.
So
That's
like
right.
Common's trying to listen, I
don't want you to know all my secrets.
Block it out.
We're talking about kindness. Do you think Americans are kind?
I do.
I think so too.
I do.
The noise of like the anger out there. I just think that even the angry people, given the chance. So there's a guy on Twitter who was very argumentative with me over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I wouldn't say rude.
It's my burner.
But short. And then this guy also, when I posted that, like I was trying to find a Jaden McDaniels Trees jersey, he's like, I can help you out.
That's very nice.
Like, I think sometimes if you respond in a genuine way, like I think most people, even the ones who seem like jerks, are nice.
I'll give an example. Just here, where we get a lot of texts, sometimes critical, and if you respond, more often than not, it's a pleasant exchange.
Right.
You can just have an honest disagreement on something and realize there's just more commonality. I think 80% of the country at least is kind. I really do.
I think so too.
And I think sometimes if you differ with somebody on key issues, too many people assume, well, you're being mean or you're rude. And there's a way to do that, but it's just honest, fair disagreements.
I agree with both of you, but I will say this. I believe we're actually less kind than we have been because we've got this social media culture out there that rewards you saying the worst possible things you can say about other human beings. And my fear is that's slowly leaking into interpersonal reactions. You say stuff online that you would never say to a human being's face. I'd like to think, except I think that's now becoming more and more a reality.
Can
in
I
our
quote
interpersonal.
Jason DeRusha on that? He'll come in after I was apoplectic about a topic, and you'll often say, was that really a reflection of all of society? Or is that the folks who already were getting mad before and they just now have a platform to show that?
Yeah, I tend to think when you look at the data of how few people are on social media relative, and you think about it, one of the important things for us, I think, in our job is to get out into the regular world and talk to regular people.
Yes.
Because if you just respond to text and not that you guys are not regular people also, the texters, but like there are a lot of people who are in and out of information and it's not all the same. So I don't know.
Well, that's just the loneliness.
Are the jerks, like, do they have a bigger microphone than they used to?
Perhaps? Texter makes an interesting point. They say USA voters hate immigrants, non-whites, and people from the other party. People are mean when it matters most. And I think contextualizing it, it's one thing to put the extra shopping cart away. It's another thing when you're actually dealing with stuff that affects other people's lives directly.
I think the political hatred clearly has ratcheted up, but politics is still a sliver of our life. Just because you're more vehement about politics, I don't know if that means you're more contentious in work relationships or friendships, or if you have an example to be nice to a random stranger, you're not going to do it because you're still mad at Joe Biden about open borders.
I also think we romanticize how kind, in a political sense, we used to be. This country has
all the time
racist, protectionist, anti-immigrant, and this is not unique to America. This is every country in the world. I think we're probably better than we used to, but it's hard to kind of get our arms around.
Let's not forget, like George H.W. Bush was viewed as a favorable, likable person. Just go back and look up that Willie Horton ad that they ran against Mike Dukakis, or pick any time. W and the disgusting racist adoption stuff with John McCain's kids. People that we viewed favorably, there's been ugly stuff in politics going forever. We just have so many outlets for it, including where we're talking right now.
All right. React to that. 651-461-9226. Chad, thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
I'm going to try to get this microphone back, and Dan's going to hit a button.
Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, let me tell you a guy who walks around with a hat that says "Be generous." I think a lot of people don't think about Chris Lindahl and think about kindness and caring and generosity, but that is one of the reasons that I'm so proud to tell his story here on CCO Radio. It's Jason here for Chris Lindahl Real Estate. And part of the reason I think that Chris has been so successful, and you see him on all the billboards and the arms wide out and the whole bit, he's wrapped a light rail train right now. If you're riding off to a Twins game, you'll see Chris on it. But part of the beauty of the Chris Lindahl real estate approach is that it is anchored in kindness and generosity and giving back and helping people to unload a home without stress, without drama, without spending a ton of money on upgrading things or cleaning stuff out is part of that process. You don't have to have any headaches. Give them all to Chris. ChrisLindahl.com is the website. You can get a free smart seller guide on the website right now and decide, is going the open market route the way to go? Or do you want to go with a guaranteed cash offer and get yourself that big red check? Find out today. Go to ChrisLindahl.com.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet Store.
Don't suffer through foot pain, sore ankles, tired legs, aching back and hips, or sore knees. Call the Good Feet Store. The Good Feet Arch Support System is designed to relieve pain and stress in the body with over 350 styles and sizes. Located in Maple Grove, Burnsville, Woodbury, and Roseville. Call 855-554-3338 or stop in for your complimentary fitting. In as little as 40 minutes, you could be walking out pain-free.
Thanks to the Good Feet Store.
Mike Rowe here with another fun fact. If your concrete is cracked or uneven, you can actually lift it back up. Whether it's a sinking driveway, a patio, or a sidewalk, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys. They're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to lift your concrete slabs. Innovative Basement Authority is now Groundworks. Schedule a free inspection.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
And Doug. There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means sitting front row at a comedy show.
Hey everyone, check out this guy and his bird. What is this, your first date?
Oh, no. We help people customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual together. We're married. Me to a human, him to a bird.
Yeah, the bird looks out of your league anyways.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Everything you knew about reaching customers online is being rewritten. Time to rethink your approach. Outcomes from Viant finds real customers, not impressions, not clicks, customers. Our AI maximizes every dollar of your budget against the outcomes that matter most and proves it happened. It's smarter advertising made simple. Visit Viant.ai.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
We're going to talk about the difference between downtown Minneapolis and downtown St. Paul and the lack of urgency in Minneapolis in just a couple of minutes with Star Tribune columnist Eric Roper. Right now, we're talking about kindness. It's Friday. Give yourself a chance this weekend, maybe. Show that random act of kindness. Texters. And we're asking if people are kind. And does our political environment today, as the texter says, that voters seem to hate immigrants, non-white, and people from the other party, the other political party, does that indicate a lack of kindness? And when I think of kindness and the way the question was asked in this poll is thinking about your community, how often do you see people treating others with kindness and respect? And 20% said very often, 40% said often. So 60% of people say they see kindness often and very often. 32% say sometimes. Now, sometimes is either a bad reflection of your community or a reflection of the fact that you're not around other people very often, which also may be a factor. One of the things that I think is interesting is that only 52% of U.S. adults say they would be very comfortable initiating a kind act towards a stranger. 64% of 65 plus say, yep, very comfortable. 35% of those in their 20s. So if you're older, you're way more likely to initiate an act of kindness than a younger person, which I think is really intriguing.
Okay, so is that a generational thing, or is that just somebody who's lived more life has a higher comfort level of dealing with other people just because you've had that many more reps?
It's a good question. My gut says it's different. It's a generational change that the younger 20-somethings have sort of suffered through that COVID time of not socializing. And they also have grown up on devices. So there's just a little more of this insular, every man for themselves sort of attitude, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. I also wonder.
It could be just youth but I don't know. When I was younger, I felt like I was more willing to be like, I'll help. I'll do something.
Is it probably like a combination, like, of the two, right? I mean, like most things, it's a combo platter of saying, here you are as a youngster that's grown up on devices that had to go through this COVID crisis, and that's stunted your ability or the number of reps that you've gotten just dealing with other people on an interpersonal basis. And yet, by the time those kids that are 20 now get to be 35, the world will force you to deal with other people, even with work from home, even with all the things that are different than when you and I were that age.
Good question.
You will still be forced to get some of those reps. I would love to see those numbers for that group 15, 20 years from now. You know what I'm saying? And see if that changed.
It's super interesting, right?
It is.
And this is all like self-reporting, what people say about themselves. So you just never quite know. This texter says, I would say that 90% of the people around me day by day are kind people. But of course, they're conservatives, so that's well expected.
I mean, it's just an incredible text. It's so. Let me be unkind while telling everybody that I'm kind.
That's peak Minnesota.
That's peak something.
Let's break. In a minute, we're going to talk about the downtowns. I have been frustrated at the lack of interest in Minneapolis in doing anything downtown, and almost a gleeful sort of like, well, screw the rich guys who own all these fancy buildings. That's not our problem, from some quarters of Minnesota and Minneapolis specifically. Star Tribune columnist Eric Roper, who focuses on the cities, joins us in just a minute. Why is Minneapolis apathetic and St. Paul is urgent? 651-461-9226. We'll talk to Eric in just a minute.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
The sun is out, the trees are budding, and your lawn is ready to burst. It's Jason here, and you need some help. Let's make this year the year that you make your lawn the envy of the neighborhood. And the way to do it is professional turf. The Pro Turf team has been taking care of my lawn for 2 years. And when they started, yes, my lawn needed some work. Pro Turf comes to your house, does an estimate, and designs a solution just for you. Weed prevention, granular, liquid, best fertilizers around, while being sensitive to our earth, taking care of your yard and your family. Pro Turf also was just at my house, saving me money. Actually, paying them money saved me money because they fired up my irrigation system and they found 4 nozzles that had leaks in them. It was a tough winter for the old DeRusha irrigation system. But the beauty of fixing those leaks is that for just a couple of bucks, now they're saving me money that I would be wasting in water as it just leaked right out of the system. Get the experts to your house. And man, if you've been waiting to put in a new fire pit or paver patio, maybe a pergola, all sorts of options, Pro Turf has certified landscape designers. They are outstanding. ProfessionalTurf.com is the website. You can call them too. 952-469-8680. That is Pro Turf.
When the weather turns, roads jam, or a huge story breaks in our backyard, this is where real-time, need-to-know information lives. It's local when local really matters. Don't experiment when it comes to the most impactful headlines that affect you.
The governor's expected to hold a news
We're anticipating an update.
ICE was chasing down a guy.
The one you know, the one you trust is News Talk 830 WCCO.
Staples has hundreds of ways to grow your business this spring, like spectacular signs, brilliant brochures, eye-popping posters, mouth-watering menus, and more. Shop now through June 13th and save up to $150 on all your custom prints. Staples. That was easy.
It's that time of year at By the Yard. Our anniversary sale is here. For a limited time, enjoy 10% off everything store-wide through April 27th. From timeless outdoor furniture to pieces built to last for decades, now's the perfect time to upgrade your space. Visit our showroom or shop online today. But don't wait. Sale ends April 27th. Make the most of the season And remember, with By the Yard, life is better outdoors.
Hi, this is Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. Since taking office, I have delivered more than $65 million in investments back to our district. I'm also fighting to hold ICE agents accountable in Minneapolis. First and foremost, my office is here to help you. If you need to resolve issues with your Social Security or veteran benefits, please reach out to my team at omar.house.gov. When Washington isn't working for you, I will.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of
They
Representatives.
look hot, they drive like a dream, and the value? You've got to get to Luther Kia Bloomington. It's Jason DeRusha. I just brought my Kia in for service there. It was such a great experience. My Kia's as good as new. Dan Dingman and the Luther Kia Bloomington team, just the best. From the 35 miles per gallon hybrid Kia Telluride and Sorento SUVs to the under $30,000 K5 sedan. Check out your dream car today at lutherkiabloomington.com or stop in and tell them Jason sent you.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
As you get ready to make that Friday drive, not looking too bad on area roadways right now. We do have some road work that could delay you. In fact, on 94 between Lowry Tunnel and 55, already a 5-minute delay on the eastbound side. 7-minute delay on the westbound side. The left lane is closed. Bridge work happening there through July. Cliff Road is closed between 35W for bridge construction. Completion expected sometime in the end of October. I'm Jim Hughes on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jordana Green here. I pray you and your family are always safe. But if there's ever a time where you need an advocate after an accident, let Mike Bryant of Bradshaw & Bryant help you. He will work with and for you in dealing with the insurance company. Call 800-770-7008 today. Bradshaw & Bryant, seeking justice for the injured.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Bradshaw & Bryant, seeking justice for the injured. You can find them at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. Bringing us the weather forecast from Chris Schaefer.
Pleasant night tonight. Clouds increase, falling back to 45. Highs will be in the low 60s tomorrow across the area. There could be a few isolated showers, but most of us stay dry with a mostly cloudy sky. Warmer on Sunday, taking a run at 70 for the afternoon high. Any rain should hold off till overnight. Monday looks wet. It looks cool all next week.
Elk River, 60 degrees and sunny on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
I think once you lose DeRusha, you've lost the country. A lot of people say that.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, Drive Time with DeRusha. It's a provocative headline in the Star Tribune today. Only one of our Twin Cities appears serious about reviving its downtown. It's a topic we've talked about over the last couple weeks on this show, as it certainly feels like in Ramsey County and in St. Paul, the elected officials are looking at downtown as an urgent situation. And in Minneapolis, is anyone talking about downtown? Eric Roper is. He is a columnist for the Minnesota Star Tribune. He joins us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline. Eric, lay out your thesis here.
Well, thanks for having me on, Jason. Appreciate it.
Of course.
So, I think I was, this kind of started when I was looking at Ramsey County's latest proposal for the river's edge, which is sort of this connection between downtown and the river. This has been talked about for a very long time. So it's still very speculative, I think, as to whether that's going to happen. But that same story noted that, not only was that on the agenda for Ramsey County, but they're talking about $50 million, putting $50 million into housing in downtown. We've also seen recently a sort of like an organization that's affiliated with the Downtown Alliance is purchasing a number of derelict buildings downtown, to try to sort of save those buildings. And that that organization just received a $30 million from Securian Financial and the Bush Foundation to kind of keep making moves downtown. And as I started to think about this more, it's just, there's actually some skin in the game, public and private, that's being put on the table in the St. Paul world to sort of revive downtown St. Paul. And part of this is because downtown St. Paul, as one developer said in my story, has hit rock bottom. I mean, it's in a much worse situation than downtown Minneapolis. But in Minneapolis, it feels a bit like there is almost an apathy, and people are sort of willing to watch the market sort of move toward, toward whatever that rock bottom is. And one thing I just noted in the column is that throughout the history of Minneapolis, particularly in the 20th century and the latter half of the 20th century, this was not, reviving and evolving downtown was a core mission of the city leadership of the city of Minneapolis. And we can go into detail about that. But it's interesting that now, whether it's TIF or whether there's other sort of things that the city can do, we don't hear a lot about the city or other entities. We don't hear about a lot of public-private partnerships. The one exception is some of the work that's being done to restore some of the natural beauty of the Mississippi riverfront near.
So I would go beyond. I would go beyond your assertion that the elected officials are showing apathy. I would say they're showing an antagonistic attitude towards downtown, such that whenever I talk about what are we going to do about downtown, property values have fallen in the tank. It means everybody who lives in Minneapolis is going to have to pick up the tab. And people say to me, and you get this from elected officials, well, it's not our job to bail out the billionaires who own buildings. That's not our concern. And I think people have settled in, and at least many of Minneapolis elected officials and many of the people who live here don't care about downtown. They don't care. They view it as it's not our responsibility to prop up the billionaires and to build a place for suburbanites to come to work.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that the thing that maybe sometimes gets lost here is that we've built the sort of the apparatus of the Minneapolis budget and sort of how the services that we've come to expect. A lot of that is being underwritten by the value of those buildings. So we can make the argument that, okay, well, why should we be, helping them out? But the success or failure of that downtown district, you don't really, I don't think we want to see what it looks like if that was to move in a too far of a southerly direction, because it does impact everybody in the city. And
but do you get the sense that residents are worried about that? Because I get the sense that people are much more concerned about their own neighborhoods, and that if you're a city council member elected from various parts of this city, you have pretty little incentive to worry about downtown until your voters care about downtown.
Do I have a sense of whether the city residents care? It's hard to say offhand. I think, there are certainly I think there are definitely some people who care. One thing I noted in the story, and I think this is somewhat instructive, is that when we grew the wealth of downtown, the city used tax increment financing to funnel a lot of that, not a lot of the wealth, but a fair amount of wealth into the neighborhoods through the neighborhood revitalization program. And the idea was that the success of downtown is going to help the neighborhoods. We're going to sort of help spread this wealth around. And so I think it's that, and that program no longer exists, but just in thinking about it, that's we can, creating a really powerful center like that has impact. It can have a lot of downstream impacts, especially if we're very intentional about it. And I think maybe too that, I was thinking about as I was writing the piece, like there is a slight comparison to be made, I think, between the downtown like importance to Minneapolis and the Mall of America's importance to Bloomington. The downtown Minneapolis is in some ways is better positioned then because you can at least like diversify. Like the Mall of America is sort of one thing,
Right.
but I think in Bloomington, we see a continuous effort from city officials there to continue to evolve that asset of theirs, or that asset in the city. And so, I mean, anyway, I'm just drawing a parallel there. I think that there's there are other cities that show that their core asset is something they cannot let. You have to keep evolving it. You have to keep thinking about it, and you have to kind of get it to the next chapter. And they see that the reasons for that.
Eric Roper is with us, columnist for the Minnesota Star Tribune. So you talk with R.T. Ryback, who, when he was the mayor, sort of pumped the brakes on some of the big incentives or the big programs designed to jumpstart development. It was kind of, let's see how things go in the 2000s, and things went pretty well. What does he say about why we're not seeing Minneapolis elected officials taking any big swings? Does he think things need to change?
So he says that the city needs to sort of reconsider its aversion to market intervention in this way, right? I mean, there are just times at which you have to reassess. Like, is it time so basically Minneapolis stopped using tax subsidies for most projects, with the exception of affordable housing. The Midtown Exchange building was sort of an exception to this. But we really got out of that business for about 25 years. And so now here we are a quarter century later, and we're starting to see pretty big market failure. We're seeing it in downtown. The other place we're seeing it is uptown, to be honest, where we maybe have buildings that are somewhat obsolete for the purposes that they might be needed for. The retail spaces are too big. At Nicollet Mall, the retail spaces are too big. We need more doors, I always say. So we can see like areas where, we need to make shifts. It's not necessarily the same thing as saying we need a new like Block E. I think we've learned lessons from that era. But in order to, chopping up storefronts and retail spaces is expensive. And we already have a lot of these building owners losing lots of value. Like, I think that there are partnerships to be had there if the city why not add the county in here too, since Ramsey County in St. Paul is playing a role. If there was some skin in the game to create some partnerships to do some things. So, but to be fair, like, I also don't necessarily see the corporate urgency either. And maybe I don't know, you might want to speak to that, but like, I don't necessarily see it in that direction.
There's no urgency over here. And you correctly point out that, look, some of this and the usual target is the DSA, sort of socialist, democratic socialist members of the city council. But the reality is, like, outside of a proposal for an indoor playground for kids, I mean, what are we hearing from the mayor or from the more centrist city council members or corporate? What's going on over here? Why does nobody seem to care?
Yeah, I mean, I point out in the piece that, like, people can criticize the priorities of the Democratic Socialists on the council, but like, it's not like the mayor and his allies on the council are marshaling some alternate plan, especially if we're talking about downtown. Like, I don't hear some great, like, okay, well, if only we were doing this. And that's something that, like, I think we should be talking more about, and I think that, like, that there needs to be some vision of, like, well, what would it look like? And I think that the dysfunction at City Hall is really starting to sort of narrow the spectrum of what seems politically viable. And so we end up having a lot of, like, kind of smaller conversations. And it's too bad. And I think we have to start sort of figuring out how to work with how to get City Hall sort of gears working again, because we have some big things that we need to take care of. And the other piece of this is, as you were noting, that people care about their neighborhoods. I mean, the other piece of it is just like livability and sort of quote unquote like disorder issues in neighborhoods, and how do we address those? We need, like, kind of everybody talking more at City Hall than they do today.
For sure. Glad you wrote the piece. Hopefully it gets a conversation started. And it shouldn't be political suicide in Minneapolis for a city council member who represents Northeast or Southeast or Southwest to be able to say, look, we need to do more in downtown. Shouldn't be that hard. Eric Roper, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, Jason.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Go see Dan Dingman and the crew today, or always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
This weekend, I want you to visit my friends at J.H. & Sons at the Galleria. It's Jason here. So thrilled to tell you about J.H. & Sons, because if you haven't been there yet, you need to experience the service difference. It's the people that make the difference at J.H. & Sons. The Halberstadt family has been making men look amazing in Minnesota for more than 50 years. And Jeff Halberstadt and his sons have opened a stunner of a store right in Edina at the Galleria. J.H. & Sons has the best selection of men's suits and the best people to pair you up with something that's going to make you look great for a wedding this summer or fall, a special event, your workplace. But it's going to be a piece that will last for years. And then on top of it, they've got a selection that you're going to love of kind of workwear, office casual, summer clothing, lake clothing. Well, lake clothing would be a swimming suit. I think they have some swimming suits, bathing suits there as well. Kevin and Bryce and Chuck, and say hi to the whole team over there when you show up. You can sign up for their email list too, and that's a great way to find out. They just sent out a thing about like hot shoes. Magnani, one of my favorite brands. I'm wearing a pair of shoes from J.H. & Sons right now. Get yourself to the Galleria. Sign up for that email list at jhandsons.com.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Don't suffer through foot pain, sore ankles, tired legs, aching back and hips, or sore knees. Call the Good Feet store. The Good Feet Arch Support System is designed to relieve pain and stress in the body with over 350 styles and sizes. Located in Maple Grove, Burnsville, Woodbury, and Roseville. Call 855-554-3338 or stop in for your complimentary fitting. In as little as 40 minutes, you could be walking out pain-free.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
If you don't care about saving 50% off your wireless bill for the same 5G coverage the big guys are charging a fortune for, maybe you care about keeping jobs in America. Pure Talk does. They've pledged to run their entire operation from this country, including all their customer service. Or maybe you care about our nation's veterans. Pure Talk does. They've donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to America's Warrior Partnership, a fantastic organization working hard to prevent veteran suicide. Or maybe you care about closing America's skills gap. Pure Talk does. They're a proud supporter of MicroWorks. They're helping my foundation train the next generation of skilled workers. Don't get me wrong. Saving money's great, and you'll save plenty with Pure Talk. But if you want to be in business with people who share your values, dial pound 250, say micro, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Get your home into the comfort zone with Metro Heating and Cooling.
With the warm days of summer almost here, you're going to want to have an AC in your house. Call Metro Heating and Cooling. We'll be happy to help you choose the AC system that's right for your home and wallet. Get a free estimate at metroheating.com. Metro Heating and Cooling of Maplewood.
Get your home into the comfort zone with Metro Heating and Cooling.
metroheating.com.
I never thought of myself as the type to settle down. Never knew where the team's next lunch was coming from. But then I met you, Easy Cater.
Workplaces everywhere are saying, I do want delicious food at work. And they're ordering from beloved restaurants with Easy Cater.
You were reliable. You had great options for every budget, even when marketing ops did keto again. We got through that together. With you, it's just so easy. Easy Cater, will you keep showing up at my workplace forever?
Find love at first lunch. Order at easycater.com.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Already looking at a crash right now on 55 at Pine Bend Trail. Roadways down to 1 lane. You are showing left shoulder access through the zone. On the 5, both directions are closed between Auburn Drive and Rhodes Avenue. Construction there, your detour in place. I'm Jim Hughes on News Talk 830 WCCO.
If you have trees to trim or need tree removal, call an ISA certified arborist. Call the CCO Land Company I use. B&M Tree Service, 1-800-569-9034. Or get on the web, bnmtree.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast brought to you by B&M Tree Service tonight. A little bit of clouds, no big deal. Low of 45. Tomorrow, isolated showers possible. High of 62. Sunday looks like the day itself is going to be spectacular. 68 degrees for the high. Rain late. Monday looks like a soaker. Bad news if you have tickets for Monday's Twins game. They're back at Target Field on Monday. Twins pregame on the air here at 5:30 on CCO.
Your daily detour into sharper conversation. Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Dan, I really don't think that the average Minneapolis voter cares one bit about downtown Minneapolis, which is why city council members don't care either. A lot of texters saying that the real issue with downtown is the city council. Many on the council, says one texter, have lived in Minneapolis for like 5 minutes. They see the council mainly as a vehicle to further the revolution. I do think there is certainly a different approach. And I believe it's an antagonism towards downtown. The idea, it's not that downtown is a collective force of good that can be an engine sending money back out the neighborhoods. People just see it as like capitalism. I don't know. Makes no sense.
What capitalism? There's no business down here.
I know, but people don't care. They're like,
See, and that's the thing is it's perception,
I think they
right?
don't care.
I think that description is completely off of the city council, but that is the perception of many, many people, and that's what needs to be fixed more than anything else. Only, as you pointed out, the council has no motivation to do that.
The voters don't care. You need leaders, not activists, and we have activists, and that's what people voted for. Continental Diamond time check. I'm very pro-capitalism. 3:58. Go get yourself a beautiful timepiece from Continental Diamond. They have the best selection of pre-owned luxury watches. I'm wearing a watch right now that you can pick up at Continental Diamond. Go see them in St. Louis Park or at continentaldiamond.com.
Chad back here with you. I want to talk about trust and peace of mind. We all need it, in particular in some areas, including your insurance. Maybe it's for your business, or maybe it's more traditional with your house and your car. For me, I have trusted Amber Scholl and Associates with American Family for what are you guessing? 5 years, 10 years? No. My entire family, whether it's my father or my kids, with American Family, with Amber in particular, for 30 years. We dread something bad happening with our house, with a car accident, but we need people with expertise, with professionalism and availability, and that's what Amber and her team are all about. Reach out to them today. It's worth it. Trust me. 651-738-4811.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. When your day needs a reset, try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. The refreshers you love, now with extra caffeine. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
How do airplanes fly? What's in this box? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Learn how to store your gun securely and make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
When it happens there, you'll hear about it here. News Talk 830 WCCO.
1029 HD2, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Streaming live via the Odyssey and iHeartRadio apps.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Growing wildfires in Florida and Georgia. A volunteer firefighter in Northeast Florida has died after suffering a medical emergency while fighting a brush fire. Meantime, CBS's Allison Keyes reports.
Georgia Governor Brian Kemp toured the area of two large wildfires and says they have burned more homes than any other in the state's history.
Unfortunately, we believe that fire activity is going to remain extremely high throughout the weekend.
Kemp says officials believe the Brantley Highway 82 fire started when a balloon landed on a live power line. Scientists say climate change and record drought are causing a greater risk of intense wildfires. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
A massive tornado last night has leveled buildings and killed livestock in Enid, Oklahoma. Despite the rubble left behind, no one was killed, only minor injuries reported. CBS's Jason Allen in Enid.
This was not a tornado where it left walls standing in some cases, and you can kind of make out the outline of a house or a shop or a business. Instead, it is just big piles of broken 2x4s and sheet metal and debris.
U.S.-Iran peace talks are set to resume this weekend. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
The president has decided to dispatch Special Envoy Witkoff and Jared Kushner back to Islamabad. The Iranians want to talk.
Iran's foreign minister is already in Islamabad. Reopening a portion of the Texas camp that lost 27 girls in the July 4th floods last year became more difficult as the state has rejected its latest emergency evacuation plan. Reporter Chris Fox in Austin.
The 11-page emergency plan deficiency letter came from the Texas Department of State Health Services. It found Camp Mystic's flash flood warning evacuation plan and their entire emergency warning system insufficient. The death of the 27 campers and counselors in the July floods led Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick to urge the state agency to reject their license application.
Police have identified the body of University of South Florida doctoral student Emil Limon. His remains were found on a bridge in Tampa today. A second student, Nahida Bristi, is still missing. The couple from Bangladesh disappeared on April 16th. Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office Chief Deputy Joseph Maurer.
Through investigative measures, we are able to link the suspect to this case and to this body. Right now, we are pending the autopsy results for manner and cause of death.
Maurer says Limon's roommate faces preliminary charges, including unlawfully moving a body. With Tiger Woods out due to last month's suspension of DUI arrests, Jim Furyk is returning as the U.S. Ryder Cup captain for 2027. This is CBS News.
Every Sunday, moderator Margaret Brennan goes face-to-face with top leaders to make you better informed. Face the Nation, Sunday on CBS and streaming on Paramount.
We've got car DeSharks coming up in just a couple of minutes after Laura updates you on the news, and I need two contestants. Who wants a chance to win $50 at Jester Concepts Restaurants? 651-461-9226. Let's get Laura.
Minnesota's trusted voice. Every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Sunny, 60 degrees at 4:03. I'm Laura Oakes. The three initial suspects arrested in connection with this week's fatal shooting near Southdale Center in Edina have been released from custody. The Hennepin County Attorney's Office says, however, prosecutors believe police do have the person who shot and killed John Stroud in custody. That suspect was arrested late yesterday afternoon. The 22-year-old Stroud was shot near a transitional housing complex for young adults on Wednesday, prompting a large law enforcement response and lockdowns in the area. An Illinois man is in custody in connection to the shooting death of a 41-year-old Maplewood man last night. Happened on the 1500 block of County Road B East. The suspect was taken into custody this morning in Illinois. No other details have been given. Republican U.S. Senate candidate and former NBA player Royce White is appealing a judge's order that he have no contact with his ex-wife or teenage son. According to the Minnesota Star Tribune, it is the third order for protection his ex-wife has obtained against him since she stopped living with him last year. But the first time, he has also been ordered to stay away from his son. When the Wolves win, everyone wins, especially downtown businesses during playoff basketball.
The drinks were flowing and the crowd cheering as the Wolves clawed their way to a 2-1 series advantage. That meant Tom's Watch Bar was busy, which means they'll be busy again on Saturday. Manager Brandon Nygaard.
We always expect more on the weekend, especially mid-weekends. Nobody's got to go to work on Sunday. They can party. We expect a lot more late-night crowd as well.
The same can be said over at Glicks, where manager Kaz Holcomb says they'll be extra staffed and ready for the rush.
Staffing is key to make sure that, everybody can get what they need and have the best exceptional time here before they head over.
So keep howling, Wolves fans. Ari Bergeron, News Talk 830 WCCO.
If you have been wanting to check out a state park, tomorrow's your day.
The Minnesota DNR is waiving vehicle permit fees across all state parks and recreation areas to encourage residents to explore outdoors as spring blooms. DNR spokesperson Lauren Peck.
We want to make sure that state parks are accessible to everybody, and that can be, we know sometimes cost can be a barrier. Some people might not be able to afford that daily pass or an annual pass.
She says visitors should note that other amenities like overnight camping will still require their standard fees. With popular locations near the Twin Cities and Duluth expected to be busy, the DNR plans on bolstering its staff to monitor parking capacity and trail conditions throughout the event. Taylor Rivera, News Talk 830 WCCO.
And WCCO News Time is 4:06.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
This traffic update being brought to you by Lindus Construction, lindusconstruction.com. 35W northbound, debris in the roadway. That's between the 280 and 36. 394 eastbound, you do have a crash in front of you there at the 394 HOV and 100. 55 near Rosemont, a crash near Pine Bend Trail. Protect your home before spring storms arrive. Choose GAF asphalt shingles and receive free installation labor this April. Go to lindusconstruction.com. I'm Jim Hughes on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Hey, business owners, it's Tiki Barber. Are you looking to earn extra money? Of course you are. When your business partners with Amazon Hub Delivery, you simply drop off packages to Amazon customers in your neighborhood. Get started at amazon.com/hub delivery.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by Amazon Hub Delivery. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
A beautiful night tonight. The clouds will increase overnight as we fall back to 45. The wind will back off as well. Tomorrow looks pretty nice. Mostly cloudy, a high of 62. There will be a few isolated showers possible later in the day. Sunday looks dry and warmer with a high in the upper 60s. Now the wind is going to pick up. The rain will hold off till overnight, and Monday at this point looks like an all-day soaker, and we do stay cool with highs below average next week.
Sunny right now, beautiful afternoon, 60 degrees at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Complicated world, simple place to understand it.
It's not brain surgery, people.
News Talk 830 WCCO. Good questions. Topics you'll probably talk about at dinner. Places to go for dinner. This is the Ride Home Reimagined. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRusha. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington. Now, here's Jason DeRusha.
All right, it is Friday. It feels good. The weather this weekend's going to be all right. We've got playoffs going on. The Vikings made a weird pick in the draft. I mean, everybody, there's fun for everyone. Twins lost 2 of 3 against the New York Mets. Yikes. We are going to talk to Dan Hayes coming up at 4:30, so a little early because Twins pregame is on the air at 5:30 here on CCO. Let's go. Laura, the card DeSharks contestants are ready to rock.
I see that.
How about that? Everybody wants $50 for Jester Concepts restaurants. And in fact, I just found out, my friends over at Jester Concepts just told me that they are officially opening the patio at Butcher and the Boar next Friday.
Nice.
So the winner will have this gift card in time to go enjoy the patio season.
Yes.
So that is a cool patio in the North Loop. Let's do it, Dan. Let's play Minnesota's fastest growing afternoon high-low card-related game. It's called Card DeSharks. The Timberwolves won't be outdone. They've got the Nuggets on the run. Our Card DeSharks team won't be outdone either. So play now, relax, and take a breather on Card DeSharks.
Oh, that Kristen.
Kristen comes through.
Yes, she does.
She does come through. You can watch our game live on YouTube at the WCCO radio channel. Laura is in front of the big board with the cards all dealt out. That board constructed by Dan Cook's brother.
I love that.
That's the family. And I mean, it has a DIY feel to it.
Yeah.
Which is appropriate for the budget of this show.
Yep.
And
I love it.
Radio station.
Especially considering it was made during the pandemic when lumber was expensive. So
yeah,
the budget for this show definitely did not cover that board.
That is true.
I think I noticed last week, too, we have one ripped card.
There's a rip card. I thought I probably should replace the card.
Yeah, they're getting old.
The cards are getting a little old. Fred is in Minneapolis. He is our first contestant for Card DeSharks. Fred, how you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on.
We're glad to have you. Any big plans for this weekend?
Well, I happen to be lucky enough to be a member of the Timberwolves hype squad, so I'm going to be working the game on Saturday.
Oh, you sound like you could be in a hype squad. I love it.
Fred,
thank you.
Are you ever surprised at how desperate rich people in the first couple rows are for a free T-shirt?
I think the best answer is yes.
Now, I've been lucky enough every once in a while to sit courtside or sit like in row 3 or 4. And I view my job in the free T-shirt moment is to remain seated. You know what I mean? It's for someone else. Like I already hit the jackpot by having somebody let me sit in their seats. You know, that's sort of my view on this, Fred.
Yeah, I don't want to tell fans how to be at the arena, but I do like your perspective.
How loud was it the other night? I was last night watching on TV. It looked insane.
It was fantastic. I mean, I love doing this job because I just love being there in the moment with a big excited crowd, and
Yes.
this is the best.
I will say, Fred, as someone who loves going to Timberwolves games, you and the hype squad enhances that experience so much. And so thank you for doing it because it does make such a difference.
Yeah, thank you for saying it. I mean, it's a privilege. It's a lot of fun to do.
I bet.
So what do you do, Fred, if you're just not feeling it and you have to work a game that night and you're just kind of crabby, maybe tired? How do you get yourself hyped up to be efficient?
Well, the good thing is I'm kind of a naturally excitable person. So I can just kind of bring in the energy. And, I like people. So once I'm in that crowd, it's kind of easy to just kind of draw that energy.
Good for you.
Fred doesn't sound like the kind of guy that gets hyped. He stays hyped.
I think so.
He's just there.
So, love it.
I like it. All right, Fred, stand by. You will be competing against Emmy in St. Michael. Emmy, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm actually on the way to pick up my son, Fred.
Oh, it's a Fred day.
How old is your son, Fred, Emmy?
3.
3.
Mm-hmm.
Such a cute name,
Love
right?
that.
Like now, our Fred, how old are you, Fred?
I am 55.
Yeah. So Fred, to me, is one of those older names that sort of the current generation of parents has brought back some of these old names. And I love it. I think it's so cute. It's really good. Emmy, was your Fred named after Flintstone? Fred Flintstone.
No, it's Scandinavian. Frederick, actually.
Love it.
Very good.
So that's the Fred from Scooby-Doo because he was blonde. So
That's right. Different. That's really cool. Excellent. Well, here's how we play our game. We have a survey of 100 people. And Fred's going to go first. I'll ask a question. Fred will give a number between 0 and 100. And Emmy will say higher or lower. And then whoever's right, we go to the board. And it's just simple cards, high and low. The winner gets $50 thanks to our partners at Jester, concepts with all their great restaurants. Parlor. I'm going to a cocktail class tomorrow, put on by Parlor inside Borough in the North Loop.
Nice.
It's a botanicals class. So perfect for spring. Fred, here we go. First question goes to you. We asked 100 actors and actresses in Hollywood, have you ever had to be nice to someone you didn't like in order to get a job? How many Hollywood actors say, yes, I've had to be nice to somebody I didn't like in order to get a job?
Oh, okay. I think that's a very, very high number. I'm a big movie fan also, so I follow kind of the Hollywood stuff, and it sounds like there are some terrible people in Hollywood,
Yes.
honestly. I will go with 75.
All right, Fred goes 75. Emmy, have you ever had to be nice to somebody you didn't like in order to get a job?
No, never.
Yeah. Right. I feel like I would say I have never had to be nice to someone I didn't like in order to get a job, but it's only because I didn't know them that well.
Yeah.
Have I had to be nice to someone I didn't like to keep my job? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. I don't think I've had the job situation, but I feel like I have to be nice to people I don't necessarily like very often.
Yeah.
Just because it's the nice thing to do, I guess.
That feels a little like a personal attack. Just a little.
It's not. It's not.
All right, Fred, what number did you say? I didn't write it down. It was 70.
75.
75.
75. Very good. Emmy, you think the actual number is higher or lower than 75?
Gosh, that's a really good guess. I feel like I want to go higher.
All right, Emmy goes higher.
Mm.
And Fred makes that sound that says, I think I've lost.
Yeah.
The actual number of Hollywood actors who have had to be nice to someone they didn't like in order to get a job is 87. 87, yeah. That Hollywood aspect for sure. Emmy, you get to choose. Do you want the red cards or the blue cards?
I'm going to go blue.
All right, Emmy goes blue. And so your opening card is a 6. You start on a 6. Very nice. Although, is it very nice? I don't know. You get an option, Emmy. You can change the 6 if you want because you got the question right. So it's up to you. You can change it or go higher or lower than a 6. What are you thinking?
I'm tempted to change, but I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go higher.
All right. I might have changed it. I'm with you on the tempt. Oh, and you should have. It's a 4. It was lower, a little lower. Fred, you get a free shot at the cards here, which is kind of nice. Right. Laura's going to flip your opening card. You get a queen to start, Fred.
A queen. All right. Well, I will go lower than a queen.
Lower than a queen, it is. Lower, it's a 7. It is lower, Fred, and those 7s are no fun. You can freeze if you want, but you are playing with house money, so if you want to just take a flyer on it, it's up to you. Higher, lower, or freeze on the 7.
You know what? I'm not gonna lick a gift horse in the mouth. I'm gonna freeze at the 7.
All right. So Fred keeps that progress, and we have to keep on time, so we take a break. More Card DeSharks with Fred and Emmy. We thank Jester Concepts. Go get a Parlor Burger this weekend. St. Paul, Minneapolis, Excelsior. Why not? Jester Concepts, terrific restaurants all over the Twin Cities. More Card DeSharks when we come back.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
So this morning, I went to Roseville with Alyssa to go to Tureen Dermatology. Alyssa was getting her annual full-body skin checkup. And I was just there to go see Dr. Mohiba Tureen. Now, I've got to tell you, when you accompany your wife to a full-body skin checkup, the physician's assistant who takes you into the room is going to ask the patient, what's going on here? It's not really a spectator sport. I was just there to see Dr. Tureen. Alyssa was there because she has a family history of skin cancer. Her father has had a number of cancerous growths removed, and he also sees Dr. Mohiba Tureen at Tureen Dermatology. The beauty of that kind of personal care
is that Dr. Treen is able to keep an eye on any growth, any mark that changes shape, changes color, changes texture. And if you've ever noticed something like this, don't just ignore it and think it's going to go away. Minnesota has one of the top 3 states in the country with diagnoses of new melanoma cases. It is serious business, and Tureen Dermatology takes your skincare health seriously. Go make that appointment right now. The website is a great place to get you to one of 10 locations all over the Twin Cities, and they will see you within 3 weeks. So if you have something that's bugging you, don't wait. 651-633-6883 or request an appointment right now at Tureen, Tareen, dermatology.com.
Mike Rowe here with a random fact. More than half of the homes that have basements in North America will experience water damage. It's true. Whether it's basement moisture, flooding, or bowing walls, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys. They're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Innovative Basement Authority is now Groundworks. Schedule a free inspection.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
On this call, Chris Lindahl, and here's how my guaranteed cash offer works. We visit your house and make you a cash offer on the spot based on its current market value and condition. When you say yes to the offer, you don't have to do anything to the house. Just pick your closing date. You can leave stuff behind, and you can even stay in the house for free after you close. The smart sellers bypass the growing uncertainty in the world and the risks of the open market and get a big red check and a fresh start in life. No fees, commissions, or stress. Apply for your guaranteed cash offer today at chrislindahl.com.
You know when your air conditioner chooses the hottest day of the year to quit? Yeah, that's exactly what a proper tune-up helps prevent. At Metro Heating and Cooling, our complete professional AC tune-up is just $109 because we do more than the bargain guys. We inspect the system, test performance, clean critical components, and catch small problems before they turn into expensive breakdowns. So before the heat really hits, protect your comfort, your wallet, and your family. Call 214-304-7658 now and schedule your 109 AC tune-up with Metro Heating and Cooling. Done right the first time, so you stay cool all summer long.
Gas prices are up, and Luther Kia of Bloomington can help you out. It's Jason from my Luther Kia of Bloomington team. I drive a Kia. I love it. Dan Dingman can guide you into a hybrid SUV getting more than 35 miles per gallon, or take a look at the plug-in and electric options. If you need the power of gas, I just test drove a Telluride third row, high-tech, affordable luxury. Luther Kia of Bloomington.com to see what's on the lot, or stop in at 35W and 494 and tell them Jason sent you.
In a world in need of a hero, one man rises to the challenge in style. He is...
just driving the kids to soccer practice.
Make every day feel epic in the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid with up to an EPA-estimated 619 miles of range on select trims, advanced tech, and class-leading interior space. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
And hey, come on, no cleats on the seats.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
I think it's absolutely flawless. Whoever's idea was that is a genius.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
In the middle of Card DeSharks, here our Friday afternoon game show on CCO Radio. Laura is here, flipping the cards, and 2 great contestants with us, Fred and Emmy. Fred has flipped over 2 cards. Emmy's got 1, so let's get to our next question, and this question goes to you, Emmy. Emmy, are you a big water drinker? I drink a lot of water every day. Where are you on water, Emmy?
Oh my gosh, everybody makes fun of me with how many bevies I have all the time.
Yeah.
Like I have to have at least 4 beverages of water and carbonated water and coffee and the whole thing. I'm a big water person.
I love water, and I'm a little picky about it. Are you picky about your water, Laura?
Not necessarily.
Not really?
I don't like
like hotel water out of a bathroom.
The bathroom
the
sink.
Fluorinated.
Yeah.
Like that. I won't really like that, but no.
I like I don't love our water here at the station. It's a little lukewarm. I like and often at the state fair we've done like the Department of Health does like this sort of water taste testing, different cities against each other, and they taste different. So we surveyed 100 adults and said, are you picky about your water? How many adults said, yeah, I'm kind of picky about water? What do you think, Emmy?
47.
47, says Emmy. Fred, are you picky about the taste of your water?
Not actually. I usually just drink tap water.
Yeah. People have feelings on their bottled water too, right? Like certain brands have like a little more salt taste than others. I think Aquafina is famously like a little more salty. Kind of weird.
I'm picky about my ice.
Ice needs to taste good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the bagged ice, I hate paying for it,
Oh.
but it tastes way better than
Really?
any ice I make at home. It's not even close.
Emmy says 47. Fred, do you think higher or lower? The number of people who say, yes, I'm picky about water.
I'm going to guess it's higher.
Fred says higher. The actual number in this actual survey who said, yeah, I'm picky about water is 65. 65. Right. A lot more picky. That's way higher than I expected.
Yeah.
But good news for you, Fred. You're on the 7. You can change that 7 if you'd like.
I would like to change that 7.
Laura changed the 7, and the 7 becomes an 8. Oh, no. Well,
okay.
You know, what are you going to do, Fred? Sometimes it's not your flip. So higher or lower than an 8?
I'm going to go against the grain and go with higher.
All right, higher than an 8. It is a king. It is higher than an 8. And Fred, that gamble paying off. Now you're in good shape with just 2 cards to go. Higher or lower than a king?
Oh, definitely lower than the king.
Lower than a king. It is a 10. It is lower. And now you're 1 card away. 1 card away. 10s are pretty good, but we'll see. What are you going to do, Fred? Higher or lower? You can always freeze if you want to take the cautious route. But otherwise, let's go. 1 card to go for $50 at Jester Concepts. What do you say, Fred?
I'm going to go for it. I'm going to say lower.
All right, lower than a 10. Laura flips it. It's a jack. Oh, no. Oh, no. And Emmy, you get a free shot at the board. Laura, you got to take that 10 away too, right? Oh, and the king. Oh, goodness. That was brutal, Fred. It's all good. Laura's going to put a few more cards back up there for you. But Emmy, you get a free shot. You're on a 6. Higher or lower than a 6?
Higher.
Higher than a 6. It is a 2. What is with us? Our cards are rough today. All right, we're going to replace the 2, and then we play sudden death.
Ooh.
So the way this works is whoever gets control of the board can either play or pass, and you can't make a mistake. So that's where we're at. The question is yours, Fred. It's a popularity question. We ask people about a number of historical figures. You know, do you have a positive opinion of Albert Einstein, of Abraham Lincoln, of Rosa Parks, of Jesus Christ? Out of 100 people, how many said, I have a positive opinion about Jesus Christ?
Oh, gosh.
I know. What are you saying? Dan's
I'm
laughing. Dan's laughing.
Don't get this wrong, Fred.
That's right. If you're wrong, straight to hell.
It's got to be really high. I'm trying to figure out how high. I'll go with 88.
88, says Fred. Emmy, do you think the number of people with a positive opinion of Jesus is higher or lower than 88?
Don't get it wrong, Emmy.
I mean, everybody loves Jesus, right? I'm going to say lower.
All right, Emmy says lower. The actual number of people who have a positive opinion of Jesus Christ, according to a YouGov.com survey, is 73.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, no.
It's rough times for JC.
We're all going to hell.
The highest, Einstein polled at 85. And Frank only at 77.
Who's down on Einstein?
I know.
Who are these 15% of people going, I didn't like that?
Isaac Newton, 69%. George Washington, 70. I don't know. Very funny. The good news for you, Emmy, is you're in control and you have a decision to make. You have 4 cards to flip over. You can change your 6 and then go, but if you make a mistake, Fred wins. Or you can pass it to Fred, who is on an 8, and he has to turn 3 cards. He cannot change the 8. What do you want to do, Emmy? Play or pass?
Oh, he's got to turn 3. Okay, I thought it was just 1. I'm going to let him play.
I would do the same thing. I'd do the same thing. Fred, you cannot make a mistake. If you flip 3, you win. If you make a mistake, Emmy wins. Here we go. You're on that 8, higher or lower than an 8?
Well, higher worked for me last time. Let's go with higher.
Higher than an 8? It's a 5, and Emmy is our winner.
Congratulations, Emmy.
Emmy, how about that? Fred, you're awesome. Thanks for listening and thanks for calling. Call again and play.
Thank you.
Play anytime. And
All right,
enjoy.
thanks for having me.
Bring home the win for those Timberwolves.
Stay hyped, Fred.
Stay hyped. Thank you.
I like both of their sunny attitudes.
Weren't they
It's great.
great?
Yep.
2 terrific contestants. And Emmy, congratulations. You did it. You get $50 at Jester Concepts, so you can use them at any of their restaurants, including Rustica, their coffee shop that they've got in I was just at the Rustica in Wayzata. Terrific. So stay on the line. Dan will get your information, and hope this makes your weekend a little brighter, Emmy. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, it's only taken me like 5 times to actually win, so I feel great.
And say hi to young Fred for us. So very
I
good.
will, yeah.
All right. Excellent. There goes Emmy. And there goes Laura. We'll see her in 30 minutes with a news update. We're going to talk to Dan Hayes. Twins really struggled and a sort of a brutal loss last night after a heck of a comeback against the Mets. We'll visit with Dan Hayes and talk Twins baseball on the home of the Twins. News Talk 830 WCCO.
Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO. And now, News Talk 830 WCCO presents 20 Seconds of Zen. Because when you're well informed, peace of mind comes naturally. Clarity in a noisy world. News Talk 830 WCCO.
Staples has hundreds of ways to grow your business this spring, like spectacular signs, brilliant brochures, eye-popping posters, mouth-watering menus, and more. Shop now through June 13th and save up to $150 on all your custom prints. Staples. That was easy.
Hey, Jordana, I'm Brian. I'm 58 and single. I have a house, a bunch of investments. I have a sister I'm close to, but no kids or anything tying me down, so I never really worried about planning for the future. Recently, a friend of mine passed away unexpectedly without a will or a trust, and it created a huge mess for the family he left behind. I don't want to be a burden on my sister. I want to be prepared. So why should I choose Gutman Law?
Hi, Brian. Your instincts are correct. If you were to do nothing, the state would decide who's in charge and how to distribute your assets, which is probably not what you want. And your sister will have a lot to sort out by herself. Now, this is the reason why I chose Gutman Law. My family, Matt and Jamie, were so sensitive to the nuances of my situation after a divorce. An estate plan is more than just names and numbers on a piece of paper. It's family. Making it easy on them is what matters most. From healthcare directives to wills to living trusts, Gutman Law can help you determine what type of planning makes sense to protect you and your loved ones. 612-895-1616 or go to mnestatelaw.com. Gutman Law, giving you peace of mind today for tomorrow.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
When you're in pain, you need the Good Feet store. Don't waste another minute suffering from foot pain, sore ankles, tired legs, aching back and hips, or sore knees. Call the Good Feet store. You might feel the difference immediately.
I walked right into the Good Feet store and I tried the Good Feet Arch Support System, and my hip pain is gone.
The Good Feet Arch Support System is designed to put your foot in the most ideal position, redistributing the body weight more evenly, helping to relieve pain and stress in the body.
That nagging pain in my lower back, gone.
The Good Feet store has over 350 styles and sizes to relieve your pain.
I've always had bad knees. I've had 6 surgeries and I could never do a knee bend. Now I'm working out and it's just wonderful.
Located in Maple Grove, Burnsville, Woodbury, and Roseville. Call 855-554-3338 or stop in for your complimentary fitting. In as little as 40 minutes, you could be walking out pain-free.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
This traffic report brought to you by DEA Takeback Day. Find a collection site at DETakeback.com. Crash on 35W southbound side. The crash between exit 14, 35th Street, and East 36th Street. Help keep our community safe and healthy during National Prescription Drug Takeback Day on the 25th of April. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent drug misuse before it starts. I'm Jim Hughes on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Get your home into the comfort zone with Metro Heating and Cooling.
An air conditioner at Metro Heating and Cooling is, on average, only $5,400 installed. Find out more at metroheating.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast brought to you by Metro Heating and Cooling. Here is our chief meteorologist from Channel 4 and for the radio station, Chris Shea.
Pleasant night tonight. Clouds increase, falling back to 45. Highs will be in the low 60s tomorrow across the area. There could be a few isolated showers, but most of us stay dry with a mostly cloudy sky. Warmer on Sunday, taking a run at 70 for the afternoon high. Any rain should hold off till overnight. Monday looks wet. It looks cool all next week.
It is pretty nice out there right now. Sunny in Brooklyn Park and 60 on CCO.
Where curiosity hits the gas. Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
I think Dan Hayes asked the right question about the Minnesota Twins in his piece from New York after that sort of disappointing, depressing loss, 10-8 to the Mets last night. Dan is with us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline. Dan, you sort of asked the question if the fight we see from the Twins offense, which has surprised me, to be honest, if that fight is going to get us anywhere, because they're 12-13 through 25 games. What's your sense of what we've seen? We've seen I don't want to say we've seen enough, but you sort of get a sense as to what this team is going to be, don't you?
You do, absolutely. And look, I think it's way more interesting than anybody wanted to give it credit for.
Agreed.
And that's a good place to be, given that I think a lot of people were like, man, this is going to be a dismal summer. What are we going to do? We're going to baseball fans. The casual fan doesn't care that much. They're going to go to the park anyways. But the real baseball fans were probably thinking this is going to be the worst team ever, and they're not. But also, just even talking to Dan off the air right before this, there's frustration because you see that fight, you see them playing like, they should have quit last night.
Right.
I quit. I wasn't going to write a story. I'm not kidding. I had written my other story. I'm sure we're going to talk about that one, about the foul-mouthed fans. But I'd written that, and it was like, well, they're getting blown out. Nobody's going to read about this. And then they come back, and Jeffers hit the grand slam, and it was like, oh, man, I got to work now.
Right. My son was at the game last night. He goes to NYU, and so he texted a picture, and I'm like, are you leaving? Like, you're probably leaving, right? Because I think most fans had given up.
Yeah.
And the team did not, though. Like, I guess,
and we've seen this all year.
Yeah.
We've seen this all year. This is not a one-time thing.
That's right.
They
So
did
what do they say? Why? I mean, I guess these guys are professionals. They're getting paid. You expect them to play, but they're also human beings. And when you know you're done, sometimes you just stop,
I think they, the hitters very much like each other. And it's weird to say that's what's doing it. But they're talking to each other. They're passing notes. It's something that I don't think they did as well in the past. This group they're on the same page, and sometimes that's how it works. Like not every team is going to match up well. In fact, I wonder how the Mets. Juan Soto, when we got back, we were there, and Juan Soto. Somebody asked him if he'd been talking to his teammates at all. He's like, no, they were on the road. I didn't talk to them very much. Guys sometimes just don't talk to each other. It's not like it's a sometimes you just got to click. And I think this group is. And so we're getting the most out of them, and it's still 12-13. And it's like, you see all this work going in, and it's exciting to see them fight like this. I know it's the kind of team that most fans love seeing, right? That one that you're never out of things. But there's just probably not enough bullpen, and that defense is just not very good. In fact, it's one of the 3 worst in major leagues right now. So you got limitations that you're working with, and sometimes you're going to have some really fun victories, and a lot of times you're going to have some frustration because they just can't seem to get over the hump.
Yeah, it is part of the deal when you look at, the Mets, which the Mets, with a disappointing start to their season, they still drew, 32,000 fans each night? Like, pretty decent crowds.
Yeah, well, yeah,
big city,
those are season tickets. It's the same thing. Tickets
empty
distributed.
seats,
There were not. Yeah, those first 2 nights it was probably more like 15 and 20,000.
So it's just
because they were wearing it hard during that 12-game losing streak, and that was, by the way, that was a lot of fun to be a part of on Tuesday. Noel McLean is a dark horse Cy Young candidate for the Mets. He's really good. He was perfect for 5 innings. And Mets fans were riding high because they had that 3-0 lead after Lindor homered off of Simeon Woods Richardson.
Right.
And to see the Twins come back and just whittle it down and see Mets fans anguish as they knew the streak was going to go one more was pretty entertaining. Especially, the 9th inning was a disaster for Devin Williams that night. Then the journeyman reliever came in for them, and he got out of that bases loaded jam in the 9th inning. After Williams gave 2 runs, and Mets fans, in their sick humor, were chanting MVP for this journeyman reliever. So it was one of those series where you got a little bit of everything. But again, on that Twins fight, there's something there that makes it fun. And when you're not out of games, it at least keeps you watching the TV and interested. So if they can turn that corner and get some bullpen, this could be an interesting season.
Well, and that's sort of the difficult decision you have as a front office and as an ownership group, right? Where, what do you do? Because you can make a case for saying, don't spend a dime, save your money for next season when you think you might be able to make a bigger impact. But our division is not that strong. If you're a 500 team, do you say like, well, maybe I do make a move because this team has so much fight that you never quite know that they're out of it?
Yeah, the calculus is difficult there. And I think if they're hanging around, they may make some kind of move like that. I don't know that it would be a massive, we're not talking about getting Mason Miller or David Bednar, one of those like elite closers. But at the same time, the Twins internally can make some decisions and bring guys up. It would just be rerouting them from being starters to being relievers. And we're seeing that with Andrew Morris a little bit so far. He looked electric those first 2 innings last night. And if he was in a 1-inning role, it'd be pretty intriguing because it looks like he doesn't mind throwing 97, 98 if he knew he was throwing 15, 20 pitches. But they're asking a little more of him because he has starter length. And that also keeps him around as a potential starter if they needed him to do that. So, but like Kendry Rojas, do I think Kendry Rojas, if they just said, hey, go up here and throw 99 and attack everything and use your slider and just try to get 3 outs, do I think he could do it? I think at some level he could be successful. There would be growing pains because he's a young guy and he has to learn command. And, walks have always been a little bit of thing for him, but like they could do some of this internally with their young guys. The problem is you're foregoing the potential. Like if Connor Prelip going into the season, there was a lot of talk that, or going into spring training, I should say, there was a lot of talk in the offseason that he could be a guy that impacted the bullpen, but he added that curveball in January. He wants to be a starter. And a lot of those guys don't want to give up being a starter.
Right.
So it's making tough decisions. And, if they can find a mix, that's the thing. We're 25 games in. And I really thought of this as a developmental season all along the way.
Yep.
Because you got to find out if some of those young guys can do this as a bullpen guy. And I think the potential's there. And then you don't really have to go out and spend on bullpen guys. The Twins' last group, Jackson Duran, was built from within. And Duran was a special guy. There's no question. There's 2 guys in the league that can throw 104 at their peak, and that's Duran and Mason Miller. You're not going to replace Duran like that. But Jax was a guy with a 6 ERA as a starting pitcher. He can go and you can find a guy like that and bring him from the bullpen, put him in the bullpen. And so the Twins are good at that. It's just, I don't think it can happen overnight. And that's what we need for this team to compete.
Cody Funderburk is back from paternity leave, Funderburk. And the Twins posted a little bit, and the TV broadcast had a little bit about the personal story, too, from him and his wife. It's a pretty incredible story, right? His wife, Alicia, was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma while she was pregnant. How scary for those two. And just, oh, my gosh, your heart goes out to them and to her for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Because she's going to have to start her treatment up again after, at some point. And that's, they're not out of the woods yet on that. And it's like this great moment for your family. This wonderful, daughter is born on Monday. And fortunately, everybody came through healthy. And now it's, all right, we've got to focus on treatment again. And it's got to be scary for a young couple that just had their first child. But he's a very good guy, and it'll be good to see him when we get back to Minneapolis on Monday. I know he's joining the team today. I'm not with them in Tampa Bay, but I'm sure he's excited being away from the guys a couple days and gets to come back with some baby pictures. So
yes, yeah, it's pretty good. Dan, hang on. We're going to take a break and come back and talk about the story that you wrote about the potty mouth Minnesota Twins fans. We talked about this a little bit earlier this week, but a survey that said Twins fans are among the most potty-mouthed on social media. That type of language is not allowed at the Minneapolis club. I'll tell you that much. I'm a member of the Minneapolis. Actually, that's a straight up lie. I have for sure heard salty language at the Minneapolis club. Never from me. You know who swears the most? Benita. Swears like a sailor, like a trucker. That one. Come find out for yourself. Minneapolis Club. You can come have dinner at Charlie's. Open to anybody. You can make a reservation right at their website. More with Dan Hayes of the Potty Mouth Twins fans when we come back.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
There's going to be a couple nice days this weekend, and we are headed into spring. And for me, that is grilling season and nothing better than Minnesota pork. It's Jason here for the Minnesota Pork Board. 3,000 family farmers every corner of the state who want you to get them Bone-in pork chops right on your grill. Great, quick, easy dinner. You can do, there's so many varieties with pork chops. I bought thin cut pork chops. Normally I go for a thick cut bone-in, but I bought some thin cut because they were on sale, and I'm cheap. And they were delicious. Quick, too. Put it right on the grill. Boom. Grill that right up. Delicious. This weekend, maybe you have a little extra time. How about a slow barbecue pork shoulder? Pulled pork sandwiches on Sunday afternoon. That sounds good to me. Need inspiration? Get to tastewhatporkcando.com. But most importantly, go to your grocery store, go to your butcher shop, support your family farmer, and let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight. Oh, yeah.
It seems like just yesterday when I captured my son's first steps or when we recorded his soccer games on VHS tapes. Those moments are gone. But the old home movies and pictures don't need to be. That's why my son created Legacy Box.
That's right, Mom. Over 1 million families have used Legacy Box to digitally preserve their old home movies and photos.
Simply fill Legacy Box with your old camcorder tapes, film, and photos. They will professionally digitize and send them back on DVDs, thumb drive, or the cloud.
With Mother's Day around the corner, it's the perfect time to get your Legacy Box and save your family's history. After all, few things are as important as protecting your precious memories. Give your mom a Mother's Day present she'll never forget. Take advantage of our Mother's Day sale, which starts now. It's our best deal of the year. Save up to 60% off. Visit legacybox.com/radio, and for a limited time, get an incredible 60% off your order. That's legacybox.com/radio for 60% off. Legacybox.com/radio.
Jordana here for my friends at Mini Leaf. Hear what they're saying about this brand I love.
Tell me about your experience with the night gummies.
I started using them. I think this is my third order. I heard Jordana on WCCO radio talking about it, and I thought, well, if she's doing it, trying to get off the Ambien, and I started with the pineapple gummies for sleep. That's what I take them for is sleep. And I've been very pleased with the product. I started with the full gummy. Now I only take half, and that helps me sleep. So I'm very happy with the product. And I'm 70 years old.
And those sleep night gummies will help her sleep painlessly through the night. Those sleep night gummies are a real charm. Check out Mini Leaf's products at MINNELEAF.com. Check out that Triple Diamond Pain Cream, those sleep night gummies, or their other great products. I use them. There's so many CCOers that absolutely love them. You will too.
Mini Leaf means quality. Taste happy at minileaf.com.
The home of Minnesota's best legal products.
Twin City Framers is the industry leader building the largest wood frame projects in town, and they have immediate openings for carpenters. Here's the deal. Large multifamily carpentry pays an average of $5 an hour more than single-family homes. This is your opportunity to work for the best of the business and make more money today. If you're a carpenter or know someone looking for better pay, better hours, great benefits, and on-the-job training, then look no further. Go online to twincityframers.com and apply for an immediate position today. That's twincityframers.com.
They look hot, they drive like a dream, and the value? You've got to get to Luther Kia Bloomington. It's Jason DeRusha. I just brought my Kia in for service there. It was such a great experience. My Kia is as good as new. Dan Dingman and the Luther Kia Bloomington team, just the best. From the 35 miles per gallon hybrid Kia Telluride and Sorento SUVs to the under $30,000 K5 sedan. Check out your dream car today at lutherkiabloomington.com or stop in and tell them Jason sent you.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Getting you up to that pregame real soon. We do have two crashes that you're staring down on the roadway, causing a little bit of a backup right now. 494 northbound near 7 and Minnetonka Boulevard. That crash has you backed up in the area. Southbound 35 between East 35th and 36th Street. You have a crash there as well. That's causing a backup. I'm Jim Hughes on News Talk 830 WCCO.
It's By the Yard's anniversary sale. Get exclusive savings on everything through April 27th. Upgrade your outdoor space with beautiful furniture built to last. Shop now before the savings are gone. And remember, with By the Yard, life is better outdoors.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast brought to you by the Yard. Tonight, low of 45. Tomorrow, 62. Isolated showers. Sunday looks like the best day. 68. Chance of rain late. Right now, it's 60 and sunny on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
He's known for the slow burn. He wanted to keep it organic, and I'm still begging for it. More controversy.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Dan Hayes, do you really think Minnesota Twins fans are among the most potty-mouthed on social media? This is a story you wrote for theathletic.com. This is a survey that was done, right?
Yeah, it was. It was something as VegasInsider.com did it. And they looked at Reddit. And it's really funny because apparently there's a subreddit of really hateful Twins fans. And the ones that wanted to be less toxic started their own subreddit called the Minnesota Twinkies. And like you have to have a secret password. It's basically so that it's not just drowned out with whole ad talk.
Right.
Does it shock me? Does it shock me that this is a case? I think that there's initials F, T, and the family name possibly on there. I think I've seen that a lot. It doesn't shock me. The number is probably higher on certain spots on X, on Twitter.
Yes,
it's pretty high. There's a lot of vitriol. That,
you and I have maybe seen a little of this in our comment threads.
Yeah,
a little.
Yeah, but it's not even really a high percentage. I think it was like 5% of the 16,000 comments that they reviewed, and it's actually almost for the Twins, almost 17,000 comments over the course of April 2025 to April 2026.
That's not that much, 5%.
No.
Yeah.
Right. The negativity rating was their Twins fans are 13th in that, and it was about 24.5% for that. That's fitting. That seems right, but it's funny because this is not going to shock you at all. Positive comments, Minnesota also 10th place. So because there's just an overwhelming sense of positivity. It's funny when you have,
we are.
like, yeah, it is. I mean, if you have somebody attack you in comments online and you kind of challenge them on it, they respect it and they say, "Oh, I was just, like they'll explain it out and they drop the tough act sometimes.
Yeah. No, I think that's about right. I don't know. It was what a great headline. What a great find for you. Cause it's such a good, it's such like, it's so clickable. You're like, oh, you either totally agree with it or totally disagree with it. Right.
Yeah, exactly. And I love actually the comments section. About 90% of them are like using swear words intentionally and they get the bit. So they got the bit. I appreciate that. Cause look, do I think that there's some anger out there? Absolutely, there's some anger out there from Twins fans. People want them to sell the team. They want the pull and it's gone. But also, the overwhelming majority of people are the casual fans and even the ones, the 4%ers from the Hope-O-meter. I think they're on the other side of things, and it just all balances out. But it certainly has seen its share of foul mouth, and I was not going to pass up writing about that.
Heck no. F no. The comments are so good on your article. Most I cannot read.
Yes.
But my favorite was the person who commented that this article effing sucks. So
exactly.
Thanks. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it. Continental Diamond Time, 4:57.
Do you believe in love at first sight?
I do. If it's DeRusha's 521 swivel glider chair.
The 521 swivel glider chair is Craftsman direct priced from $1927 or $81 a month for 24 months. So whether it's 6 a.m. or 11 at night, you'll fall in love with 521.
Oh, Jim. Berufka's, no gimmicks, haggling, or hard to understand pricing. In Woodbury, Burnsville, and Minnetonka.
Decidedly worth your time.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet Store.
Don't suffer through foot pain, sore ankles, tired legs, aching back and hips, or sore knees. Call the Good Feet Store. The Good Feet Arch Support System is designed to relieve pain and stress in the body with over 350 styles and sizes. Located in Maple Grove, Burnsville, Woodbury, and Roseville. Call 855-554-3338 or stop in for your complimentary fitting. In as little as 40 minutes, you could be walking out pain-free.
Thanks to the Good Feet Store.
In digital advertising, everyone talks about clicks. But clicks don't pay the bills. Sales do. Outcomes from Viant is a new way to advertise that prioritizes your bottom line. Our AI-driven technology looks past the noise to find the customers most likely to buy your product. It's smarter, faster, and designed for real-world results. It's smarter advertising made simple. Visit Viant.ai.
And Doug.
There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means playing in a football game. Boom! 42! You're going down, Doug! Oh, yeah? Your price on car insurance when you customize and save is going down. Hey! Limu? What are you doing on their team? Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
News Talk 830 WCCO, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by DEA Take Back Day.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. President Trump is sending negotiators to Pakistan for weekend talks aimed at ending the war with Iran. CBS's Linda Kenyon.
The president is sending envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner to the talks in Islamabad. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says Vice President Vance is not going, at least not for now.
The vice president, I understand, is on standby and will be willing to dispatch to Pakistan if we feel it's a necessary use of his time.
Vice President Vance led the first round of talks in Pakistan amid reports the Iranian team preferred to negotiate with him. This new round of talks comes as the U.S. continues its blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
In southern Georgia, more than 120 homes have been destroyed, and thousands of residents have been urged to be prepared to evacuate as two separate wildfires spread amid dry conditions. Governor Brian Kemp.
These two fires have created the most lost homes ever in the history of our state. So being the number 1 and 2 ranked fires in the country, also the most homes lost ever in a Georgia fire, really shows you just how bad these two fires are.
No deaths reported in Georgia, but in Florida, a volunteer firefighter has died after suffering a medical emergency while fighting a brush fire. Strong storms, possible tornadoes, even snow possible somewhere in the United States this weekend. Meteorologist Craig Allen has details on a storm coming out of the Midwest and heading east.
Showers and thunderstorms will continue from the top of the lakes right down through Michigan. It's moving past Chicago, but will enter the Ohio Valley, not quite as severe or as intense as some of the thunderstorms were yesterday that produced several tornadoes, more than a dozen confirmed tornadoes.
The Justice Department is making some changes when it comes to carrying out executions. The Federal Bureau of Prisons is being directed to reinstate the execution protocol, which relies on single drug lethal injections of pentobarbital. The drug was used to carry out over a dozen executions during the first Trump administration. Also being adopted is death by firing squad. Hundreds of foreign-born Americans could lose their citizenship as the Justice Department moves to increase the pace of denaturalization. CBS's Allison Keyes reports.
The DOJ wants to revoke the citizenship of 384 people, and it's moving to assign the cases to civil litigators in 39 regional offices. Federal law allows the government to ask the court to take away the citizenship of those who obtained it fraudulently. Denaturalizations have been rare in recent decades, but the Trump administration ordered the Department of Homeland Security to report more than 200 such cases a month to the DOJ. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
This was first reported by the New York Times. This is CBS News.
Help keep our community safe and healthy during National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, April 25th. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com.
Minnesota's trusted voice, every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Sunny, 61 degrees at 5:03. I'm Laura Oakes. Charges are now filed against a suspect in this week's fatal shooting of a man near Southdale Center in Edina.
22-year-old Ella Vaughn Quinnell Wren is charged with second-degree intentional murder in the killing of 22-year-old John Stroud outside a transitional housing complex for young adults on Wednesday. The incident in the middle of the day prompted a large law enforcement response and lockdowns at Southdale Mall and other area businesses. 3 other suspects arrested that day were released for insufficient evidence. Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty calling the investigation complex and ongoing.
That's WCCO's Taylor Rivera. An Illinois man is in custody in connection to the shooting death of a 41-year-old Maplewood man last night. Happened on the 1500 block of County Road B East. The suspect was taken into custody this morning in Illinois. No other details have been given. It is a big weekend for motorcyclists as the annual Spring Flood Run gets the riding season going.
The route takes riders along the Mississippi and St. Croix Valley roadways. But this story isn't about the scenic trek. It's about getting reacclimated to riding after a long hiatus. Minnesota Motorcycle Safety Center's Jay Bach.
It takes a little while to get acclimated to us again on the roadway because we've been going through the winter and it's not an issue. We're smaller, we're lighter. It's hard to gauge our speed as much. So we put all those factors into play. And a month from now, it'll all be good. We'll be back to a comfortable situation. But to start with, don't forget about us.
Let's not forget about the safety factor.
That includes the proper gear and a helmet. It's not just protection on the roadways. It's also protection from the elements.
Be prepared, don't be distracted, and have fun. Ari Bergeron, News Talk 830 WCCO.
A massive hiring effort getting underway this hour for Minnesota's newest music venue. The 19,000 capacity Mystic Lake Amphitheater looks to hire more than 800 part-time seasonal roles for their first season, which begins June 22nd. The hiring fair takes place all of this weekend and next at Mystic Lake Center in Prior Lake. And a nice perk at all 73 state parks this weekend. The wildflowers are out, and even better, entrance is free. The Minnesota DNR's Lauren Peck.
Spring ephemeral wildflowers is a big draw for people to come to parks in general in the spring. So I suspect Nurstrand, Big Woods, down a little bit south of Metro might be pretty popular.
While camping fees do still apply this weekend, crowds are expected at popular metro area spots, and Peck recommends checking the DNR's online Park Finder tool for real-time visitor alerts and trail conditions before heading out. WCCO News Time is 5:06.
Staples has hundreds of ways to grow your business this spring, like spectacular signs, brilliant brochures, eye-popping posters, mouth-watering menus, and more. Shop now through June 13th and save up to $150 on all your custom prints. Staples, that was easy.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
This traffic report sponsored by Staples. 35 northbound between 46th Street and 36th Street. Watch for animals in the roadway. We'll keep an eye on that. 35 also southbound between 35th and 36th. Still have a crash in that area. That does cause a backup. I'm Jim Hughes on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Get your home into the comfort zone with Metro Heating and Cooling.
Call Metro Heating and Cooling for a $109 air conditioner tune-up. Find out more at metroheating.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by Metro Heating and Cooling. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
A beautiful night tonight. The clouds will increase overnight as we fall back to 45. The wind will back off as well. Tomorrow looks pretty nice. Mostly cloudy, a high of 62. There will be a few isolated showers possible later in the day. Sunday looks dry and warmer with a high in the upper 60s. Now, the wind is going to pick up. The rain will hold off till overnight. And Monday at this point looks like an all-day soaker. And we do stay cool with highs below average next week.
Sunny right now, 61 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Must hear stories, must hear events, must hear radio. News Talk 830 WCCO. He knows news. He knows talk. He knows nonsense too. So get ready for a lot of each. This is Drive Time with DeRusha, fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Once again, here's Jason DeRusha.
Oh, it feels like a Friday. Dan Cook and I were just talking about how downtown Minneapolis already sort of has that summer Friday vibe feel. And it's April 24th. Is anybody at work?
Now shut up and drive.
What is going on today? I don't know. I mean, I'm happy for you guys. This show, you know what? Screw it. I'm leaving here at 5:30. For a second, Dan was wondering,
What's about to happen?
What's about to I mean, I could just leave.
You could. You can do anything once.
It's true. Well, you've worked at this radio station long enough that you have. I mean, the Dark Man was legendary for sort of disappearing in the middle of his shift.
Yeah.
Which you can do when you're hosting an overnight show, right? Late night
You
show.
can. I mean, he would have recorded something to allow him to do that, which you may or may not have been able to do at this point. So
yeah. Probably too late for me to record.
I'm thinking, but you never know. You're a talented chap.
I don't know.
You're welcome, Brad.
Yeah. Talent. Yeah, that's right. We're going to ask you what you're doing this weekend. So we're going to do that. I'd love for you to send me a voice message on the Odyssey app. Just like, what are you looking forward to over the next couple days? Anything fun coming up? 651-461-9226. We'll do that in 10 minutes. So you can send us your stuff through the voice app or send your text now. I just want to know what everybody's up to this weekend. I've got a couple things planned, including something tonight. So we'll talk about that in just a couple minutes. First, let's bring you up to date. Assemble the firing squad because it's time for the DeRUSH Hour news.
The headlines you might have missed without missing a beat. This is your fast pass through the biggest and most impactful stories of the day. Welcome to the DeRUSH Hour Headlines, starting with the lead.
Are we really bringing back the firing squad? Is that back? I don't know, man. Some of the stories you hear about the way the death penalty is carried out. We do not have the death penalty here in Minnesota. Dan says, thank God. There have been too many screw-ups for me. Plus, like from a moral standpoint, I have an issue with a human being deciding to pull the plug on somebody's life because they committed a crime. That said, there are scenarios. You know, I have a sort of squiggly line on this one. The Trump administration today saying that it would allow firing squads and readopt lethal injection as part of a broader push to revive the death penalty. There's no data that indicates the death penalty is a deterrent to crime. It is straight up vengeance. There are times, and the Vance Belter case may be a case with Minnesota ties that it is used. So we will see what happens there. The state worker who blew the whistle on fraud in Minnesota years ago did an interview with KSTP last night, Channel 5, and she is speaking out again.
What really struck me was the attitude of leadership when I would bring it up. And I very innocently would bring it up, just saying, let's put a halt on these. We need to figure out this problem. There always seemed to be a reason why it was better to just look the other way, get it out, get it out, get it out. That was the whole goal, was to get it out.
Now, Faye Bernstein, and this is an interview you should check out with Kirsten Swanson from 5 Investigates. But she 7 years ago identified what she considered to be risky practices and how the Department of Human Services Behavioral Health Division handled grant contracts. She said she was not aware of actual fraud at the time, but she was worried about the risk. And she took it up the chain of command. And as you heard her say there, she said she didn't get any traction. New York Times reporting. I didn't select this story to say I told you so, but I didn't not select. Anyway, I told you so.
They're all getting screwed, you know.
Yeah. So the Donald Trump tariffs raised prices on many, many consumer goods. And who do you think is getting the refunds? Dan, are you getting a refund for any of the extra money you paid to businesses?
I am not getting a refund.
I don't think I'm getting a refund. The largest businesses. So all these businesses are applying to get their money back. And the Trump administration is starting to return more than $166 billion in tariffs that were deemed illegal by the Supreme Court. And so do we get, I mean, we paid it.
What are we doing? What's going on?
Costco, Gap, Home Depot, Kohl's, Lowe's, Target, Walmart may get billions of dollars each. I understand the challenge in trying to unwind, like, did Jason DeRusha spend $7 in extra money because of tariffs? But it does underscore the fact that the argument that was being made all along is that who actually pays these things? It's us.
I'm not generally amongst the anti-capitalist folks out there, but when you lay this out, so tariffs go into effect, companies have to spend more money to get products here.
Yeah.
They turn around and raise prices to consumers to make good on that money. And now when the Supreme Court says that the mechanism the president used wasn't valid, now the companies are trying to recoup money that they already recouped from us.
Yeah.
So they're double dipping.
Yes.
So,
now, some companies maybe didn't pass on the increase to customers.
how many of the companies you just named that are putting in for refunds do you think did not pass that along to customers?
I'm going to say somewhere between 0 and 1.
Exactly.
Yeah, when regular people feel like the system is rigged against them, this gives them another reason to feel that way. The headline says the University of Minnesota golfers and alums are trying to save the golf course. A closer read of the story says they're trying to save the University of Minnesota's Les Bolstad golf course in Falcon Heights through the true courage of Americans today. You might wonder, is some wealthy alum or former golfer, maybe you were on the golf team, you learned how to golf, you use that skill to become a tremendous businesswoman or businessman. Now you're a CEO, so you're donating some big money, right? Is that what they did, Dan? Is that? Oh, wait.
No.
They've launched a petition. 3,000 people have signed a petition at change.org. The Save Les Bolstad Golf Course for Future Generations petition. I mean,
What are we doing?
yeah.
What's going on?
I mean, the courage of those golfers. I hope the U of M is listening. 3,000 people have signed a petition, an argument where I would make the case that I could get 3,000 people to sign a petition for just about anything. But good try. Good try. Let's break. Let's do it. I want to know what you're doing this weekend. Give us something. Throw a plug in for some cool event that you have going on. What's going on this weekend? Text starting to come in. Let's hear it. 651-461-9226. What are you looking forward to over the next couple of days? Tell us something cool in your hometown, in your neighborhood, in your family. We'll do that when we come back.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Go see Dan Dingman and the crew today, or always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
I'll tell you what I am not doing this weekend, and that is not comparison shopping for insurance, because I got a guy who does that for me, the Canopy Group. And they can be your guy as well, or gal, or whatever. At thecanopygroup.com, 800-967-3389. The Canopy Group does something so special. They do all the work for you. They take your personal situation, your home, your auto insurance, your zip code, your family, your coverage, and they run your scenario through 16 different companies, just trying to make sure, hey, I want to get you the best coverage. I want to get you the best price. What's the proper combination to make sure you're doing better than you were before? And that's what the Canopy Group specializes in, because who's got time to call 16 different companies, or 16 different agents, because most agents, you have one agent, one company. Why not just let the Canopy Group do the work for you? I called them at the 800 number, 800-967-3389. Also at the top of their website, thecanopygroup.com, there's a big red button that says get a quote. Go to that website, fill out your contact information, and off you go. So easy. I saved more than $800 on my family's home and auto insurance. See what they can do for you? thecanopygroup.com.
Staples presents Celebrations Made Easy.
I went to Staples for a custom printed graduation banner and invites and saw that Party City is now at Staples.
Wait, what?
Party City is now at Staples.
So now Staples has balloons,
Yep.
decorations,
Yes.
streamers, cups, table covers?
Yep, Staples has everything for a party. And now buy two, get one free on select foil balloons.
Holy confetti! So the best party started at Staples.
That was easy.
In 613 select stores, exclusions apply. In-store or buy online. Pick up in-store only.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out?
Spruce! Spruce! Spruce!
It's Spruce, the weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people, pets, and bees when used as directed. Spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Spruce, pet friendly, weed deadly. Find wherever weed killers are sold.
You know the rush when you reach that goal, when something you've worked for pays off. That's success. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we believe you should never stop chasing it. That's why we offer a skills-based education that helps move your career forward. Learn how to apply emerging technologies like AI and data science. Build your leadership and critical thinking skills. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start May 13th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Shell.
The Aquarius Home Services and Connecticut Customer Appreciation and Open House event, Friday, May 1st through Sunday, May 3rd. Huge savings. Save big on heating and cooling systems, water heaters, generators, water treatment systems, and more. Again, Aquarius, Connecticut, Open House, May 1st through Sunday the 3rd, Little Canada, 694 and 35E. Where's more information? AquariusHomeservices.com.
Did you know a single blood donation can save 3 lives? Amazing, right? All it takes is a visit to your nearest Memorial Blood Center's location or blood drive. Whether you're donating blood, plasma, or platelets, nothing beats the feeling of being a lifesaver. Be the reason someone gets back to planting their garden, walking their dog, or simply enjoying another sunny day. Make an appointment today at mbc.org. Walk-ins are always welcome.
It's Chris Lindahl, and here's your latest real estate market update. After falling slightly last month, the uncertainty index has risen to 7.25 out of 10, which is the highest it's been this year. New listings are up, closed sales are down, and as you've probably seen in the news, Minnesota home prices are actually falling. Bottom line, listing your house on the open market in today's increasingly uncertain environment is risky. For a comparison on listing versus selling with a guaranteed cash offer, go to chrislindahl.com.
The ride home deserves better conversation. Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
You like it when I wear my hair down, but I say that way it just gets in my eyes.
All right, another Twins East Coast game. This time of the season, most of these starts are a little earlier. It's a little colder. Kind of nice. What's the weather in Tampa Bay tonight? Twins in Tampa. And first pitch is at 6:10. And so pregame starts here in just about 7 minutes. In Tampa right now, it is 80 degrees. That's not bad.
And they're still playing at the minor league complex, I believe, right?
Oh, that's right.
The Yankees minor league complex.
And so where is that?
It's in Tampa.
It is in Tampa.
It's in Tampa, yeah. But it's outdoors, whereas they, always were playing in the dome, so you don't have to worry about weather.
Right.
Now it's outside. So,
what are you doing this weekend? 651-461-9226. This Friday and Saturday, the LeSueur County Pioneer Power Swap Meet Flea Market.
Yeah.
You can hear like the advertisements for this, right? It's this Sunday, the LeSueur County Pioneer Power Swap Meet. You know, it's that
kind of thing.
I think so. It looks so. I'm looking at the website for this. They have a full report on the 48th annual Pioneer Power Swap Meet.
I mean, what better way to get excited for the 2026?
So go on out. Go on out. That looks fun. Another texter celebrating 50th birthday.
There you go.
At Steve-O's in Crystal.
Welcome to the club.
50 is, and Steve-O's is a bar and grill in Crystal.
Get your colonoscopy.
That's a perfect 50th birthday celebration. Yep. We're just talking about what we're going to do for Alyssa's 50th birthday this year. And I hadn't considered Steve-O's in Crystal, but I'm going to bring that up with Alyssa.
On the list.
I'm going to bring it up tonight and see how that goes. What are you doing this weekend, Dan?
Well, tonight, it's supposed to be nice, clear skies. So I'm looking forward to get out, do a little stargazing tonight. Moon's going to be 3/4-ish full. So that'll be cool. And then this weekend, I got my state park sticker. I heard Laura doing that in the news that state parks are going to be
free, right?
So I don't even need the sticker. But I've got my sticker, so I got to get that on the vehicle.
Which park are you going to go to?
I don't know. I don't know. I might just drive around and see which one runs into me.
Do you just happen upon a state park?
It depends on which direction you're going.
I guess. I was interested in Laura's news. She's like, oh, people like to go to the state park to look at the spring wildflowers. I didn't know about it. Another texter saying my husband attends the LeSueur Power Show every year. It's a great show. Don't knock it. I wasn't knocking
not knocking.
I was just saying that. And also, I will knock it if I want to. But I was not in that moment. Maybe I'll go to Continental Diamond, St. Louis Park. They get a free time check. It's 5:26. Dan's like, you don't have to do it. It's not the top of the hour. Enjoy the Twins. Let's get a win.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by University of Maryland Global Campus.